Hello, welcome to episode 2.
Here's our blanket, excellent.
Asymmetrical twist.
Dropping and sinking. Notice how
So just notice joining us for the second episode next week. Namaste. Hello and welcome to episode 62 of Namaste Yoga. We're continuing our series on the organ body, and this week we're working with the liver and the gallbladder. So you can go ahead and rest back, lie back on your back or on your stomach. In fact, when we begin to move, we'll be starting from our stomach. So if you're comfortable lying on your stomach with your hands underneath your forehead, that would be a great start position for you. So just take a couple of breaths and allow yourself to settle in. So when I started working with the liver a couple of weeks ago, I was kind of curious about how I would work with it or how I would come to understand it better. And the way that I've understood it better is that the liver, when it gets out of balance, really indicates to us that we're taking on too much, that we're overdoing it. And of course, the liver in our body is an organ that helps to eliminate toxins in our body as they come in, and the liver particularly deals with things like sugar and alcohol and fats, and it breaks them down into a form that is less harmful for your body. And so if our liver is out of balance, then we can be tired and have headaches and eye problems, low energy. And this really kind of speaks to this idea of taking on too much, of just doing too much, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Anything, too much of anything can just be too much. So where do you take things too far in your life? Where do you go to excess? And what deeper issues are you trying to cover up by taking things to such excess, or by trying to cover them up with toxins, either the toxic overload of overwork or toxins of too much fatty or sugary food to cover up hurt and feelings, or maybe the toxins of addictions to drama. We could go on and on, or toxics to negative thinking, like sort of indulging in negative thinking. All of these things just deluge us, and it's too much, and they deplete our energy levels further. So our liver can help us to connect us to our deeper issues of our meaning and our purpose. And if we're taking on too much and overindulging in any area of our life, then it becomes really unclear what our dharma is, what our purpose is. And I know I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita right now, and when in the mornings after I've read it for a bit, I sit back and I think, okay, my purpose today is to do the next step, and then the next step, with as much devotion and love as I can bring. And so, but we have to have this clarity, and if we overdo it and we're taking on too much, then we can't bring that kind of intention to anything that we're doing. So as you rest back here or rest on your belly, just begin to form your intention for your practice today. What do you want to receive? How could you let go a little bit more? Maybe do a little bit less in your practice. This doesn't need to be another place where you take things to excess. So in what way will your practice serve you? And because all things are interconnected, by virtue of that interconnection, when you do your practice for you, you're doing it for the interconnected web of life as well. Okay, and then you can gradually allow your breath to deepen, and why don't you come up and back into child's pose and then come up to a seated position, and I'll give you a preview of what it is we're going to do. So we're going to do this frontline series. The way the meridians, the sun lines, the Thai sun lines work for your liver is they run up the inside of the thighs up to your navel, and then along the back of the body on your hamstrings, up your glutes, across, and then up either side of your spine. So we're going to be working with those lines today. And we're going to do this series, which I'll talk you through, but I want you to see it before we do it. So you start lying on your stomach with your leg up to, ooh, that liver line would be a little tight for me today. With your leg up to the side. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. And then from here, you'll take your leg out to the side, and we'll stay here for a few breaths. And then what you want to do is close this, work towards closing this space on the inside of your thigh. Then you'll take your arms overhead and you'll roll onto your, I have no idea how I'm going to work with my mic pack in this series. You'll roll onto your back into a twist. And we'll stay here for a while. And then you'll come all the way onto your back, and you're going to need a strap today. And you'll take your strap around your foot and draw your leg up. So we're getting this line here. And from there, we'll open out to the side. So you get this line here. And then from here, you'll roll towards that leg, and you'll come into a frontline twist. This one's called Dying Warrior. And from the frontline twist into Dying Warrior back bend. And then we'll repeat the whole thing on the other side. So let's start with that. So lie in your stomachs with your right leg up to your side. And do place your strap at the top of your mat so that it's there when you need it. Okay. And then take your right leg out to the side. And bring your arms overhead. Drag your right leg, roll onto your back into a twist. And then you're going to grab your strap and roll all the way onto your back and take your right leg straight into the air and hook the strap around your foot and draw it in. then open your right leg out to the side. And keep your left leg sinking and dropping into the ground. And then let your right leg go. You're going to keep the shape of your legs the same. Roll onto your stomach. And then your hands come under your shoulders and you come into a back bend here. Great. And then let's do that whole thing on your other side. So lie towards the left side of your mat. If you have two mats, it's a good idea to line them up side by side here. That can work really well. So you actually work across two mats. So you can lie on the left side of your mat with your left leg. And you're just working towards opening that space at the front of your hip here. Then open your leg out to the side. And then from here, your hands come overhead. You're gonna roll onto your back, drag your left leg. So you roll into a twist. And here, it's more important that this pelvis is perpendicular to the ground than your left shoulder on the ground, which it will be eventually. And then roll all the way onto your back. And hopefully you put your strap by your head. So you just have to reach over and hook up your strap and draw your leg in. And then out to your side. And then keep the shape of your legs the same. Left leg out to the side, right leg straight down. And you're gonna roll all the way onto your stomach. Untuck your left arm. Your chest faces the ground, your right leg reaches straight down. Left leg out to the side. Then take your hands under your shoulders and press up so that you're in a back bend here. Okay, great. And then make your way, how about a down dog after that as a counter pose after all of that? Get rid of your strap and come into a downward facing dog. Stretch out your legs and spine. Do something really symmetrical after that asymmetrical pose. So hands under your, just forward of your shoulders, knees just a little bit back of your hips. Lift your sit bones straight up. Tuck your toes under. Straighten out through your legs. Great, and then come back down onto your back. We're gonna do a couple of poses to get into those sun lines. So you're gonna lie on your back and draw your knees into your chest to begin. And then bring your legs up and hold on to the outside edges of your feet. Draw your knees towards your armpits for happy baby pose. And when you do happy baby pose, try and keep the back of your pelvis dropping into the ground. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is kind of do like a half baby pose. So you take one leg out. We'll do, work towards that version of Yoga Nidra where you roll to your side and get your elbow underneath your knee. And then start to work your shoulder underneath your knee. And maybe you can get your head here through your ankle. Maybe this is where I need to stop today. Okay, and then roll onto your back. And let's switch sides. So we'll do the half baby on the other side. Lengthen your opposite leg out, and it helps to roll to your side. And start by getting your elbow underneath, and then maybe your shoulder, and then maybe your head behind your chest. Good. And then you can release that down and let it go. Come on over onto all fours. Okay. So from all fours, take a step forward with your left leg and come into a lunge pose. And then you're going to take your hands to the inside of your left foot and walk over towards your right knee. From here you can pick up your right knee and come onto the inside edge of your right foot and your right knee, and then squat towards your left heel. Okay, and then let's switch sides. So bring your left leg back, and you're gonna walk your right leg through for lunge pose. And then take your hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk your hands over to your left knee. Pick up your left knee, come onto the inside of your left knee and your left foot, and then you're gonna squat towards your right heel. And you'll feel a big stretch in through your groin here. It's a pretty intense stretch. Okay, and then come on back. And to work those lines on either side of the spine, let's do a little bit of moving between downward facing dog and upward facing dog. So take your hands forward of your shoulders, lift your tailbone up, tuck your toes under, breathe in, breathe out. Reach your sit bones up towards the ceiling, open your heels towards the ground, and then tuck your tail under and roll all the way forward and through until you come into upward facing dog. So in Urdhva Mukha Savasana, you're going to keep your knees off the ground, your legs off the ground. So we'll go back and forth between the two, between Adho Mukha Svanasana and Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Tuck your tail under and come all the way through. Great. And then lower your knees, sit back on your heels and come into child's pose. If this bothers your knees at all, roll on your back and draw knees to chest. Okay, so come on back up onto all fours. Lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling again. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. And then reach your right leg up and let's just circle that leg. And then bring your right knee forward, place it on the ground. Cross your right heel over towards your left hip bone. And then you're going to fold forward over your right leg for pigeon. And then come on up, bring your hands underneath your shoulders again. Tuck your toes under, step back. Downward facing dog. And from down dog, take your other leg up and circle. And then bring your left knee forward. Bring your left heel over to your right hip bone. If that's bothering your knee in any way, you can always keep your left heel underneath your left side. Keep your leg straight and then fold forward here. All right, and then come on up. Let's come back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet into your hands and come up to standing. Okay, yes. So from standing, we're gonna take our legs wide and then turn your toes out. And from here, just notice the alignment of your pelvis. You want it to be straight up and down. Hip bone, pubic bone should be on the same line. The tendency is gonna be for your pelvic bowl to tip forward as though there's water falling out the front. So you don't want water falling out the front or the back. You wanna be drawing your knees back and going straight down and up. Okay, so let's just try that a couple of times, this idea of straight down. Okay, keeping your knees back and your pelvis upright. And then straight up. And then straight down. And straight up. Okay, so let's come down and stay down. Knees pulling back. Good. Roll your shoulders back and down. Bring your arms up parallel to the ground. Palms face forward. Okay, and then come on up. Turn your toes so they point straight ahead. Roll your pelvis over your leg bones, lifting and spreading your sit bones wide at the back. And fold all the way forward. Okay, and then you're going to come up and just stand towards the front of your mat. Take a deep breath in, reach up. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips, bend your knees as much as you need to come forward. Step your right foot back, step your left foot back. Downward facing dog, we're going to come into pigeon again, so right leg comes up, just give it a little shake out. Bend your right leg through, bring your right heel over, and we're gonna stay in the back bending version of pigeon today. If your knees grinding at all on the left side, you can tuck your toes under and lift your knee up off the ground. But if you're really lengthening your left leg out of your pelvis, you shouldn't have any grinding on your left knee. And then step back into downward facing dog. Take your left leg up, give it a nice shake out. And then bring your left leg through. Right heel comes over to your, left heel comes over to your right hip bone. And stay in the back bending version of pigeon here. Okay, and then release that and come to a comfortable seated position for you. So you may want to sit on a block or a bolster or on a pillow. I think I'll sit with a pillow here. Or blankets folded up. You can sit in the chair too. Just whatever it takes for you to be comfortable in this position. We're going to do Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so from here, you're going to take your left hand and bring your thumb and index finger together. And then the mudra that I like for my right hand is to keep my first two fingers extended, and then I place that on my third eye in the center of my forehead here. You're gonna close your right nostril and breathe in through your left nostril. And then close your left nostril and breathe out through your right nostril. Breathe in through your right nostril. Close right, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close left, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close right, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close left, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close right, breathe out left. Continue with this on your own and in your own time and breath rhythm. And the next time you breathe out through your left nostril, lower your right hand down and just breathe normally through both nostrils. Just notice how this breath has affected you in your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual bodies. Okay, and then let's stretch out a little bit. If you had your legs crossed, then maybe you want to just shake them out a little bit. Okay, what is next? We are going to do a twist. So, sit with your legs out straight in front of you. And then bend your right leg in. Cross your right leg over to the outside of your left leg. And then maybe you'll leave your left leg there. Depending on your flexibility in your hips, you may be able to bring your left heel up to your right buttocks. Sit evenly on both buttocks. Also keep your full right foot on the ground and your full right buttocks on the ground. Wrap your left arm around your right leg, turn toward it, and lengthen your spine up. And then come back center, uncross your right leg, lengthen your left leg out, and give both legs a little bit of a shake out. And then slide your left leg in, cross your left leg over to the outside of your right leg, and then fold your right heel up to your left buttocks, or keep your right leg out long. Full left foot on the ground, full left buttocks on the ground. Wrap your right arm around your left leg, turn toward it. And then come on back center, uncross your legs and shake them out. Okay, let's do Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together and right in towards your groin. I'll turn this way so you can see better. These are ones where it's really useful. Well, actually, let's save that, maybe more so for later. So open your knees to the outside. If your knees are really high, then it can be useful to put some blocks under your legs or pillows so that your legs can just relax rather than hanging from the hinges here. So lift up nice and tall, hinge forward through your hips. And then come up and take your feet forward so there's more space between your groin and your heels. And you're going to lift your knees, reach your hands underneath, hold on to the outside edges of your feet, to the roofs of your feet. Long spine, fold forward here, tortoise pose. And then come up slowly. From here, you're going to take your legs wide. Okay, now here it can definitely be very useful to lift your pelvis, especially if your tail is curling under like this and pulling you back. Then there's no point in doing your forward folds from here. So if you get a pillow or a stack of blankets and sit yourself up on it, get yourself a nice lift so that your pelvis will come into a tipped forward position, and then take your legs out to the side. And it doesn't have to be side splits here. And really, you don't want to be feeling it on the inside edges of your knees. So if you are, bring it in a bit. And then lift up nice and tall. You can take your hands behind you to lengthen your spine up. And then fold forward. I'm going to do some really long holds on these ones. And then come up slowly, slowly bring your legs in. And then bend your left leg in, open your left leg out to the side, sit up nice and tall, inhale here. Exhale, fold forward over your right leg. And then slowly come up. You're going to switch sides. So bend your right knee and open your right knee out to the side. Lengthen your left leg straight out in front of you. Lift up nice and tall through your spine. Hinge forward through your hips. Draw your navel towards your legs. So don't worry about bending and rounding your spine. Keep your spine long. Okay, and then come on up to a seated position. And let's finish cross-legged. And just close our eyes. Spine lifting up nice and tall. Slight lift through your pelvic floor, navel drawing back, chin tucked. Let your breath deepen. And stretch out a little bit. Bring your hands to prayer position. Thank you for joining us for episode 62 of Namaste Yoga. Namaste.